Welcome ABA fans, Ashenmore here with my Week 10 Teambuilder against Gatsby and the Washington State Weezings. This is my most highly anticipated battle of the season against my rival, who got me to join this league in the first place. I'm super excited to see just how this is going to go. If I win this game, I'm guaranteed to stay in the number 1 slot before playoffs, but if I lose, then next week I'm basically going to be playing the St. Kilda Superiors for the pre-playoffs title. Interesting coincidence. I think Gatsby needs to win both games to guarantee playoffs, but I'm absolutely not going to go easy on him, and I'm not throwing. Anyway, into the team building. The team I'm bringing is on the bottom left of the screen, and Gatsby's team pool is on the right-hand side of the screen. It's a really well-balanced team he has. He built off elemental cores and a very strong defense with some offensive threats. And as far as this battle goes, the biggest threats offensively are definitely Tapu Koko and Salamence, and of those two, really Tapu Koko. And the biggest defensive threats to watch out for are Mega Venusaur, Uxie, and Piloswine. Other shenanigans I'm watching out for are Electric Seed, Destiny Bond, Driftblim, which I've seen him run before, and Innards Out, Pyukumuku. That's just a Pokemon I, in general, have problems dealing with. I highly think that he's going to bring that, so I need to be at least somewhat prepared for it. Now for my team, I'm going to be running 2 dedicated sweepers, Thundurus T and Kartana. Now for the Thundurus T, it has to be run timid, max speed, so that I can always outrun the Salamence. This time, I'm going to be running Nasty Plot to sweep, with T-Bolt for general coverage. +2 will kill pretty much everything on his team, minus Venusaur and Piloswine. Sludge Wave as my main counter to Koko. Thundurus T has to have a way to guarantee a kill on it. Sludge Wave is how it does that, so Sludge Wave always has to come on this Pokemon. Other options I considered were Flash Cannon, because it hits Piloswine and doesn't really hit anything else. And it's very reliable in that sense, but it doesn't even get a +2 kill on it unless I'm boosted. And even then, it doesn't guarantee a kill, in which case I could die to Icicle Crash or some other residual damage plus Ice Shard. HP Flying does hit Venusaur that's fully SPDF invested for 37 to 44%, and 74 to 88 at +2, and with no SPDF, it has a 50% chance to kill, roughly, if I'm at +2. That's not really reliable enough, and I have enough other ways to deal with the Mega Venusaur that I don't really think that that's necessary to do. Nothing else is weak to flying on his team, and the move slots are just too valuable. Psychic is sort of the same damage as HP Flying, but gives access to a Z move against Mega Venusaur, which does guarantee a kill at +2 with the Z move. But again, I've got other ways to deal with the Mega Venusaur. What I don't have is ways to deal with the Piloswine naturally on Thundurus. Thundurus can't do anything to the Piloswine with T-Bolt and Sludge Wave. So what I'm going to opt to do is run Focus Blast and Phytanium Z. So that is going to definitely kill Piloswine if it's not specially defense invested. At +2, it will always kill him, and it has a very high chance to kill him if he's fully special defense invested with just the Z move alone. So I'm definitely going to run it just to kill Piloswine. The only other thing on his team that it even hits is Heatran and Lucario. I don't expect to see Heatran in this matchup because Heatran is not going to be very good. And he doesn't play Lucario much, and I don't really see Lucario being that great either. Potentially, like a special Lucario with Vacuum Wave could be good as a counter to Kartana, but I didn't even really consider before I did this video. I might have to think more on that. But that's the Thundurus T that we're going to be running. Now, our other sweeper is going to be Kartana. And I considered 2 items on Kartana this time around. Expert Belt and Lumberry. Now, Expert Belt is going to get us slightly more damage against the Venusaur and the Piloswine and other threats. But the Lumberry is going to be able to let us set up in the face of Uxie, because if we're up against Uxie, I'm expecting he's going to go for the Thunder Wave. Drifblim can also go for a Thunder Wave. So my thought is that having the Lumberry is probably going to be more useful. Oh, and additionally, the only attacking move Vaporeon generally runs is Scald, which we can survive, but a burn would leave Kartana basically dead. So we're going to Swords Dance this time. Every other week I've run Scarf Kartana, but I'm going to run Boosting this time, because the only thing that ever outruns Kartana against his team is Tapu Koko, which I expect to be Scarfed anyway, so really no reason to do that. Smart Strike is going to hit pretty much everything. Leaf Blade is going to hit everything else. Psycho Cut is there for the Venusaur. It's going to do the most damage to the Venusaur. I did also consider Aerial Ace, but Aerial Ace only hits the Venusaur, and the only reason I really considered it is because Skuntank's not immune and can't switch in. But potentially, if I don't reveal that I'm not Scarf before then, he might switch in the Skuntank and then I get a free kill because I can switch moves, because he might think I'm still Scarf. One thing to consider about this build, Koko kills Kartana with Thunderbolt every time. There's no way to avoid that unless I'm running Assault Vest, but then I can't run Swords Dance, so I don't want to do that. And Swampert dies to Grass Knot from Koko. So I'm kind of expecting Koko to run HP Ice for my Thundurus, and in which case, if he does try to do that, it'd be great for me. And like I said, likely Scarf Koko to outrun potential Scarf Kartana. So, with these two sweepers in mind, we need ways to remove Mega Venusaur and Tapu Koko from the field. For the former, I only have one Mon for the job. Fully offensive Specs Pelipper. Yes, Specs Pelipper. Every other time I've been running it as a defensive, sort of tanky defog pivot. But this time, Specs. So with maximum special defense investment, it will not OHKO Mega Venusaur, but anything less than max does have a potential to do so. Not to mention the confusion chance. So Hurricane off this thing is going to hurt. Surf is going to 2 HKO Uxie after leftovers every time, and it's also going to OHKO or 2 KO everything else on his team. Ice Beam is there to kill the Ments. If it ends up, I can go against him with that. And then for the last slot, I'm taking Defog. And the reason I'm taking Defog is because I can't bring Tentacruel to this match. Can't do it. I can't have Pelipper and Tentacruel. Then I have too many things that die to Tapu Koko, and there's just too much of a chance of just Tapu Koko rolling through my team. Not happening. I'm not going to bring Defog on Kartana, because Kartana needs all 3 of those move slots that we've given him, and I really want to run Swords Dance, so it's not happening. If I do have to send him in just to defog, I will do that. Especially if Venusaur is dead. Then I really have no more use for Pelipper in general. I also considered Hydro Pump, but Hydro Pump actually can't net any OHKOs that Surf and Hurricane can't do already. For another strong option against his team, against the main 2 threats, we've got a fully attack and HP invested Bronzong, Brave with Iron Plate. So, max attack Bronzong with Explosion kills half of his team just by itself. It's basically anything that's not Uxie or Venusaur is just going to be dead. Gyro Ball with Iron Plate guarantees an OHKO on Tapu Koko, possibly OHKO's Salamence. The Zen Headbutt can 2 HKO Mega Venusaur, which gets completely walled by even this Bronzong variant because of its natural defenses and great typing against it. And Light Screen is going to be the last move on here, so I can potentially neuter Koko temporarily, and it will also allow Mega Swampert to survive a Grass Knot from Koko. I also considered the moves Trick Room, but it's too risky because it can screw over my main sweepers, which outspeed everything but Koko. Trick to remove critical items or like throw a lagging tail or some stupid thing on somebody. Earthquake for the rare chance that Heatran comes along. Reflect for possible dual screens. I also considered running Life Orb as my item, but because of the recoil damage, that might make it so I can only attack once, and I kind of want to be able to get at least one Gyro Ball off, and then one Explosion or Light Screen or something. I also considered Leftovers for recovery, but I'd rather be able to OHKO Koko, and Bronzong can't really fight Koko anyway, so just no. Mega Swampert can deal with Heatran, Lucario, or Piloswine with Waterfall or Earthquake, and can swap in on T-Bolt locked Koko with no fear if we figure out that he's Scarfed. And while it can take HP Grass, as I've said, it can never take Grass Knot. Ice Punch is for an OHKO on Temence. Brick Break is there in case Gatsby tries to set screens with Pyukumuku, which I expect him to bring since I'm incredibly bad at dealing with that stupid Pokemon. Seriously, it's a sea urchin with its guts hanging out. I don't understand it. I don't. Swampert in this match is here as a flexible swap into Salamence more than anything else, since it can take any Z move and KO it back. That's basically why it's here. In the last slot, I debated a lot, and I was pretty unsure what to bring, but I eventually settled on just bringing Miltank. With Sap Sipper, it can swap in against Mega Venusaur, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Sleep Powder, whatever have you. It does get semi-wrecked by Sludge Bomb, but it's still a 3 KO if he doesn't get poison. Thunder Wave can let me cripple key threats. Ice Punch prevents Mence from boosting in my face. Body Slam can also para and is a good neutral coverage option. And Rocks can punish constant swaps of Tapu Koko if he just comes in and U-turns out, which is how I expect him to play it. The name of the game with this defensive Miltank build is to spread as many paralyzes as possible to open up Gatsby's team to my sweepers. If Miltank gets even one thing paralyzed, I will consider its job done. I also considered running on Miltank Milk Drink, but there's not many opportunities for things that I can just flat out wall with that. Heal Bell, which I may consider dropping a move for between now and the battle. Earthquake, I considered, but it can't fight Tapu Koko anyway. Koko is always going to 2HKO me, and I'm never going to 2HKO him with Earthquake. Brick Break, but I opted to slap it on Swampert instead, and Toxic, but Rocks is potentially better because of Gatsby's usual playstyle. Although, Toxic would be pretty good against all the tanks that he's got, the Uxie and whatnot. Pokemon I opted not to bring were Chandelure, because he has a lot of knockoffs and a Pursuit Trapper that he usually brings in Skuntank. Tentacruel, but that gives me too many Pokemon that are weak to Koko, and I will just get destroyed by that thing if I bring him. Minshao, but he has so many fighting resists. Minshao would kind of be a dead card in here. Rabombi gets walled by Mega Venusaur, and just the general things that all my other sweepers get walled by. Not very good in this matchup. And Kingdra, I can't really guarantee its support because Pelipper is going to be focused on threat removal rather than setting rain. And Kingdra honestly doesn't net that many good KOs and gets swept by Mence without its rain speed boost. And it's also just 4 speed shy of outrunning Scarf Koko in rain with maximum possible speed investment, in which case I would have brought it, but since it doesn't, it's staying on the bench today. A couple things I could change about the Miltank or Swampert sets, like adding Toxic, but if he runs Pyuku with the screens, Brick Break is the only thing that's going to be preventing me from losing the game. But that just about does it for me. I say good luck to Gatsby, and I'll see you guys in the battle video. Thanks for watching.